Morning, Luke. Morning, Gillian. Morning, Nancy. Morning, Jim. Morning, Alex. Morning, Karen. Morning, Tina. Let's jump across to YouTube. And good morning, Lorraine. Good morning, Brian. Good morning, Robert. Good morning, Van Man. Best van driver in Scotland. Heard it. Yeah. Morning, Eddie. Morning, Graham. Morning, Ali. Morning, Jim. Morning, David. Who else we got? Morning, Stothers. Morning, D-Doc. Alistair. Lenny. Big Ray. Chris. Don. Rosemary. Kerry. Stella. Stuart. Ricky. Alexander. Doug. Right, where are we at? Nearly got 100 of you on board, so we'll get this broadcast underway. Okay, good morning, Sheila. Good morning, Nigel. That's a nice room you've got there for that wedding, Nigel. Morning, Alexander. And a happy birthday to Isle of May, Cameron. When Sarah and I first ran across Isle of May, she must have been 15 or 16. She's been in her mid-20s now, Christ. Right, well, happy birthday, Isla. Anyway, right, folks, that's me and the 100 is on board, so let's get this broadcast underway. Indy Truck, Davey out the truck, not home in his office in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire, where it's overcast, 11 degrees, dry at the moment. That's the weather forecast for Salisbury, North Lanarkshire. If you want to know what the weather's like with you, look at your own bloody Monday. Alright, this is news review for the 20th of the 10th, 2022. Better known to you and me as yesterday, and what a day that was, eh? Anyway, Thursday started with one main theme in the rags. Truss days are numbered as PM. Beaverman sacking as Home Secretary. Sees Truss sugally pegged jacket fall to the floor. Right. Headlines say things like Truss 12 hours to save Premiership after Beaverman quits. Tories a scuffle and fight with each other in Westminster halls. And Westminster and the Tories in meltdown. The headlines, this shamble can't go on. We'll come back to that a wee bit later, shall we? Moving on, Thursday here in Scotland starts. On the news, the old telecommunications are down in Shetland. The mobile network down, the landline network down. And the cause of this was an underwater cable connecting Shetland with the mainland. Had been damaged, apparently, by trawlers. So yesterday, the good folk in the Isle of Shetland wake up to find they've got no communications. That must have been murder, eh? No Facebook first thing in the morning. I wish I'd been there yesterday. Well, also Thursday, new wind farm construction underway in Dumfries and Galloway. The project has taken 10 years to get underway, having first received planning permission in 2012. The 15-turbine farm will start feeding into the grid in 2024. 2 years to bring a wind farm online. That's good going, folks. They're talking about 7 years for nuclear and 2 years for a wind farm in place. Wow. Right, anyway, when it comes online, the 15 turbines, which are 149 metres high or 489 feet in all money, will have generating capacity of 67 megawatt hours. All right, whatever the hell that is and however many houses that'll feed. Okay, moving on. Thursday, 300 offshore workers in the North Sea oil and gas fields go on strike over paying conditions. The strike involves platforms owned by 4 companies: Archer, Maersk, Transocean and Odfjell. Now, the Unite Union official tells the press The pay offer was rejected because it was a real terms pay cut, so they were offered less than 10%. Okay. Now, Alex Thom, Workforce Engagement Officer of Offshore Energy UK, said there is industrial disputes across all sectors in the UK with concerns over the cost of living crisis. She tells us that the management and the unions in the sector are working hard to end the dispute and that industrial action is not the answer. Well, management always say industrial action is not the answer, but Davy says it's all about timing, dear folks, all about timing. Energy crisis, soaring energy prices, and big oil and giant companies making massive profits. It's exactly the time for them to go on strike, because for every minute they're on strike, they're losing bloody millions. So timing is excellent for this strike. Hopefully the 300 workers out there in the North Sea will get what they deserve, and that is a cost of living and inflation busting pay rise. That's what everybody needs. Okay. Right, moving on. Thursday, it's reported that Sir Graham Brady of the 1922 Committee and Tory Party Chairman Jake Berry were seen entering Downing Street and number 10 on Thursday morning. Right, now, after their visit, it was announced there would be a Downing Street announcement at 13:30 hours or 1:30 p.m. and all money to you and me. All right, this sparked speculation that Truss' disastrous tenure as PM is over. Moving on Thursday, back here in Scotland, and the Chamber of Commerce is demanding to know what support will be made available to businesses under growing pressure from the energy cost hikes and the looming recession. Now, the organisation asked questions of both the Scottish and UK government on what support they would get. Now, a survey carried out by the Chambers of Commerce here in Scotland ranked business concerns. Number one concern was energy costs. A lot of businesses are talking about 3-day weeks and things like that because they can't afford their electric prices. Some bakeries have actually taken to shortening their working weeks. All right. Labour shortages and costs. Well, if there's not as many people in the labour market, the people who are there could demand higher wages. And with the cost of living crisis, everybody's demanding higher wages. All right. And of course, there's the cost of fuel. Most of these businesses will have delivery departments with vans or trucks or something like that, and the cost of diesel's through the bloody roof. All right. And the final of their concerns in the business sector is inflation. Interest rates being part of that, of course. Borrowing costs have soared. And of course, with inflation, the cost of buying the raw materials to produce what it is they produce has also soared. All right. Now, businesses here in Scotland are already getting 6 months help with energy costs, but the Chambers of Commerce say businesses need longer term support if they're to survive. Now, Davy says, sorry, little guys, you go under. There's a reason you're going under. I mean, your endeavours you'll go under, and your endeavours will be turned over to the corporate giants. In other words, they'll buy up what little assets you've got, asset strip them, or take them into the range stable of companies. All right. But I don't know if people have noticed, folks, but the Tories are not that silly. They have been shrinking the markets and letting the corporate giants take over. Right? Now, this is being facilitated by the Tories, and it has been going on for 10 years now. Right? So you can say goodbye to your hard work and setting up little businesses, small and medium enterprises, because the corporate giants are moving in. Now, this started with the banking sector, and then it moved on to supermarkets, and then the energy sector. The Tories have been shrinking the markets to ensure that we can only buy from certain places. Now, we've seen this right across retail. We've seen it right across the energy markets. There's nothing left but the big six, and you're forced to buy from them. And, of course, the banking sector and all. And it looks as if this stuff's deliberate. Corporate giants are being handed the UK. And as we know, this Conservative government are owned by the corporations. So, suck it up, buttercups. Most of use SME owners or Tory voters. You voted for your own demise. A bit like the English people. You know, SME owners here in Scotland traditionally been Tory supporters. And the Tories were once considered to be the friends of small and medium-sized enterprises. Not anymore. They've been shrinking the markets, ensuring that only the big corporate giants survive. And that's what this is all about, folks. Only big supermarkets will survive. Only the 6 energy companies will survive. Only certain retail banks will survive. That's what's afoot, folks. They're ripping the UK economy to shreds and handing it right over to their corporate masters. Okay. Moving on Thursday, and 1:30 rolls around. The podium's outside number 10, and the world looks in, mainly laughing. And I've seen reports all across the media for right round the world, Germany, even the African nations are laughing. Everybody thinks the UK's turning into a banana republic or a banana kingdom because we can't kingdoms because it's not a bloody republic. Unbelievable. Anyway, Truss appears at a 1:32 p.m. to tell us, despite her success in faking the economy on behalf of our corporate sponsors in the financial sector, she tells us she can't deliver on the low-tax, high-growth economy she was elected to create, so she's off. She didn't really resign, she got the boot. That's why Sir Graham Brady and Jake Berry were at number 10 yesterday morning to tell us that sugary pegs just fell off your wall. Pick up your jacket, you're leaving. Anyway, Trussonomics were doomed. They were always pie in the sky. You can't have growth when you have no one to sell to internationally because of Brexit and no trade deals. You know, any trade deals of any significance with anybody. And you can't grow the economy when consumers have no disposable income and their skyrockets. So Truss resigns, telling us she'll stay in post till the next idiot's installed and a new leadership contest. Only Tory MPs will get a say on the next PM. That's even less democratic than the method used to install lettuce leaf Liz in post. Right? As I say, the UK is an international laughing stock. Even the BBC ran a piece with their correspondents for right round the planet telling us what people think of Little Britain at this point in time. And it's no complimentary, I can assure you. And hey, Sturgeon must be going like, what next, for Christ's sake? This next one will be the 5th one. She's seen 4 half already. Okay. Anyway, moving on Thursday, and after the resignation of the stupid one, all opposition parties call for a UK general election. They're not getting one, as the Tories need a couple of years to try and turn around their standing with the electorate and in the polls. All right. Polling right now shows the blue Tories would be wiped out by the red Tories. The Davies got a wee warning to soft yes voters who may be thinking of voting Labour to get rid of the blue Tories. Just remember, under Starmer, Labour are a right of centre party. No left of centre party, a right of centre party. So get that lodged in your head, people. Labour are not a left of centre party anymore. Under Keir Starmer, he's claiming to be bang in the middle. He's right of centre. So, there'll be a change under Starmer. And Starmer knows that. All these pie in the sky promises he's talking about, Starmer knows he can't deliver on them. And Davey can tell you why he can't deliver on them. Because when he walks in the door at number 10 and he gets the Treasury report, he's going to realise there's no wiggle room to spend and he's going to have to continue austerity. But Starmer doesn't care about that. Starmer's a Tory to his toes. He's only interested in his own self-promotion and position. Simple as that. There's not a left-leaning bone in the man's body. He is totally owned by the establishment, and the establishment is traditionally of the right. This mob that are in the new are way right. Starmer might not be quite that far, but trust me, he is of right of centre politics. But you don't have to trust me. Ask Len McCluskey. He wrote a book about it. And of course, as I say, he is a Tory to his toes. So austerity will still be on, no matter who's in number 10. Because they've messed things up that bad. There's no wriggle room in the public finances for Starmer to do anything other than continue with high tax austerity agenda. Okay, so as I say, Starmer can promise you the bloody moon, but he's no delivering because the market's shrinking, unemployment's rising, tax take will go down. Here's the other interesting thing, I know people, any soft yesers out there who think they would vote Labour to get a Labour Prime Minister down that road. Huh? Just remember, the state that the economy and is being left in, whoever takes her down that road is going to have to deal with high unemployment, low tax take, and no spend, and a shrinking economy. So 5 years later on, after Starmer makes an arse of himself, and the right-wing Labour Party makes an arse of itself, the more extreme right-wing Tory Party will be back in front in the polls in England, and we'll get another Tory government. Hi, Arvo. Right. So there you have it. That's the truth of how the next 5 to 10 years will go. Starmer might get into office in a couple of years' time if the Tories can't turn it round. But when he gets there, he's going to be met by high unemployment, a decimated economy, and no wriggle room in the public finances. None. So he can offer as much piss and wind as he wants to the idiots in England. But he's not going to be able to deliver. So if you're here in Scotland, remember, don't be bothering your asking your vote to Labour, because they're just another right of centre party. And austerity is a guarantee under Labour as well. Starmer's not going to put up taxes for the 1% free in 23, I can assure you. He's not. Apart from that, when Starmer gets in the door, all the high earners, they're just going to put their money offshore where they can't touch it. Right, moving on. Thursday, speculation starts over which blue Tory talentless twit will be installed in number 10 to try and turn round the blue Tories' fortunes with the electorate. 3 names are thrown around: Sunak, Morden and Bojo the Clown. Hashtag bring back Boris is trending in England. I keep saying this, there's something wrong with their education system down that feckin' road. They keep voting for self-harm. No, they've got any option anymore. Because as I've just explained, if Starmer and Labour do get in the door, Starmer's left of centre, right of centre, and there's no money in the public finances for him to spend on the piss and wind promises he's making the people of England. So, there's something definitely not right with the education system down that road. These people keep voting for self-harm. What they really need to do is rip it up and start again. They use yes yet. Of course, most of you watching this, huh? Right, moving on Thursday and back here in Scotland, the First Minister calls for a general election. She also states a Boris Johnson comeback is a ludicrous idea. We're used to the people in England doing ludicrous feckin' things. They keep voting Tory, even though it's put 29% of their children into poverty. They're no right in the heat. There's something no right with them. So the Westminster calls for a general election. Don't know why. Won't make any difference to the people here in Scotland. Red Tory, blue Tory, red Tory, blue Tory, all the feckin' same. Right, also Thursday, calls for a Scottish general election as a de facto referendum on independence. Is in an article in the Times newspaper, Telegraph newspaper, the Torygraph. It would appear that there's a bit of movement on this idea in certain sections of the Yes movement. As you know, I'm an advocate of this myself. The idea of using the UK general election takes huge swathes of our electorate out. The 16 and 17-year-olds and the foreign nationals wouldn't get a vote in a UK election. But in a Scottish election, the 16 and 17-year-olds get a vote, and 186,000 EU nationals who are still here would get a vote. Put forward a prospectus of Scottish independence, and you're guaranteed the majority. Guaranteed. Especially if the Greens and the SNP run on the single platform. I mean, I dare say the Alpha Party will run on that platform as well. I don't imagine they'll get any elected officials, but they'll run on the same platform as well. Okay. Anyway, I say if we can't get a referendum, Davey says if we can't have a referendum, then that's my preferred route. And I'll just explain why 16 and 17-year-olds and EU nationals will get the vote. All right, moving on Thursday. And dozens of Tory MPs face a discipline over abstaining on the fracking vote. 40 MPs now face losing the Tory whip. So it could well be that 40 MPs will be departing the Tory party, which could well see their majority dwindle. And if they sit as independents and back Labour, there's a chance you can overturn a few of these Tory things that are going on down that road. But a lot of them are muting the idea of just going and quitting and triggering by-elections. So there could be 40 by-elections come up before the next election. Right, moving on. Thursday, SNP MP Angus Brendan McNeill breaks ranks to criticise the First Minister and tells her to stop asking the Tories for a Section 30 order, stop demanding a UK general election, and to call for a Scottish general election as a de facto referendum. I can see this one starting to take legs, folks. You know, I'm getting it up, but also Thursday, it comes to light that Truss is quite happy to walk away at this point in time because she will get her £115,000 a year PM's pension. She shouldn't qualify for it yet. Supposed to have served 2 full months in office, but apparently that's what she's being offered to get to back. She's been told she'll get her PM's pension. 115 grand a year in money. She's quite a young woman, you know, she's going to be drawing that for a long time. So there's probably a couple of million quid guaranteed in her bank account over the next few years. Right. Moving on, Thursday, and former SNP councillor convicted over sexual deviancy or bad behaviour. Lewis Ritchie, 38, was convicted for forcefully kissing a woman against her will, groping another woman's buttocks, and trying to get into bed with a third victim against her will after a political event. Now, Mr Ritchie left the SNP in 2018 after complaints about his behaviour. Now, what's interesting about this particular ex-councillor, ex-SNP councillor, is that in the report on the BBC, it starts off with ex-SNP councillor convicted, right, of sexual harassment or something like that. But now, as you know, folks, I've been doing this programme day in, day out for a number of years now. And over the past 3 years, I can remember 2 other councillors gone to court or in the headlines for sexual misconduct. Now, you'll all remember the Tory councillor in Aberdeen, won't name him, and there was a Labour councillor in Falkirk. So, What was interesting about that report yesterday was it named the party. In the case of the Tory leader of the council up that road in Aberdeen, when they were reporting on his sexual misconduct, they didn't mention the party at all. No in the headline, no in the article. And in the case of the Labour councillor along there in Falkirk, his party wasn't mentioned in the headline either. It was in the body of the report, to be fair, but it wasn't in the headline. So you can see what the BBC is doing with this one. Well, I just thought that was interesting, that when it comes to SNP or Green, their party will be splattered across the headline. When it's the Tories or Labour, you'll be lucky to find the name of the party that the people serve under in the bloody article. Alright, okay, this is moving on and I've got Sarah to pick up. So finally for Thursday, will Tories grow in an independent Scotland? Apparently not. Professor Leslie Torrance of the James Hutton Institute tells us Tories are a cold climate crop and global warming means traditional varieties like Ayrshire and Maris Piper would struggle to grow in Scotland as Scotland warms up. Professor Torrance, of course, offers us an alternative to Maris Pipers and Ayrshire catties. She tells us to look to South America to find varieties there which will grow in a warming Scotland. So there you have it, folks. If the climate keeps warming up here in Scotland, not just will we enjoy the weather, we'll get South American ties. Absolutely mental. Absolutely radio rental. So, yesterday, what a laugher. Another one bites the dust. The lettuce wins. I'm looking forward to the newspaper headlines this morning. Shall we go and have a wee look? Right, Scotland's paper. Boris Johnson eyes return as Liz Truss quits. Oh, Jesus Christ. Comedy gold, this. The Scotsman has big black front page gone after 44 days. And it's a picture of the dizzy one. Liz, dim but nice but dim, on the front page. Truss quits sparks new battle to lead split Tories. Boris Johnson eyeing return to Downing Street. Starmer calls for general election after weeks of chaos. The Herald has Truss runs out of road as support ebbs away. The Times has Johnson weighs return to power as Truss quits number 10. It goes from bad to second worse. The Looney Rag, the Daily Fail has Truss was a disastrous dalliance who served only to remind us what a real leader looks like. Boris versus Rishi. Fight for souls of the Tory party. Jeez, oh. Get me out of this mess. Westminster call a Scottish general election, please. Right, the Daily Record. Truss quits after 44 days. That plunges UK into chaos. Tories choose third PM this year with Boris in the running. Government has no mandate and the people of Britain deserve a general election now. The National has, let's show all of them the door. Can't argue with that. And there's a flyer at the bottom of the National's front page which says, Alba, enough is enough. It's time for independence. I wonder if we get all the money for this carry on. I mean, there's only 6,000 in the membership. Somebody must be financing this rubbish. The Metro. The Metro has the worst PM we've ever had. UK's shortest serving PM in history. Now Boris planning to make a comeback. Oh, take away the lettuce and put back a clown. And the Daily Star has, I don't know, we'll see. We'll get the Express first. The Daily Express, the Looney Rag has, as Truss quits, the big question is, can ex-PM get enough MPs to back his return? He couldn't. Could he? Will Boris bounce back to number 10? Bloody well hope not. And what's the Star go? Oh, the Star of Scotland. Historic souvenir edition. Lettuce rejoices. Plucky star veg outlast lettuce Liz as she walks in political heat. On the front page, it's a picture of a lettuce with a Liz Truss wig on, a bottle of champers, and a glass. And a smiling lettuce. Brilliant. Couldn't make it up. Ah, dear. What a day it was yesterday. So, can Bojo make a comeback? I don't care. Doesn't matter what I do to stick in number 10 next. It's all good for us. But I have to say, I agree with Angus Brennan McNeil here. After the Supreme Court gives its verdict, and if it's a no, you can't hold a referendum without Westminster say so, then we can ditch that. And I wouldn't wait for a UK general election. I'd dissolve the Scottish Parliament. The Greens and the SNP have a majority. They can dissolve the Parliament, call an election, and run on a single manifesto between the two of them. As I say, no doubt the Alpha Party will be making noises and all about running on the same ticket. But at this point in time, I can't see the Alpha Party making a breakthrough. I really don't. Nothing personal. But the other thing, we will know if the Supreme Court says we can't have a referendum without Westminster say so, we can sit it squarely in Mr. Salmon's lap. He should have told me fuck off when they offered the Section 30 the last time like we wanted them to. He gave away our right to free speech on this one by signing that Edinburgh Agreement. I said it at the time, I'm saying it now, it was a mistake. An absolute mistake. So, we'll say the SNP and Greens should dissolve the Parliament, run on a ticket of independence if they win a majority. As I say, no doubt the Alpha Party will try and join that ticket. I don't think the SNP and the Greens will entertain them, but they'll run on a pro-independence ticket and all. Will they get anybody elected? Well, you know, if we have a look at the last two elections, we've got 6,000 members, that's roughly the vote to go. That was it. That was the vote to go. And there's no enough for them to get. They're not concentrated enough in one place to win a seat. Simple as that. They say it's not a personal thing against any political party, against the Alpha Party. They could have called themselves anything. The ISP and all, there's the IPS or whatever it is. The Independent Scotland Party. It's no doing anything either. Although I do believe they have a councillor, which is who has been elected on that party ticket. Can I say the same for the Alpha Party? They don't have any elected officials. And the people who have been elected that are in the Alpha Party, they will have to flare for the SNP. And they're going to lose their seats at the next election, whether it be the next UK election. There's just not enough members to vote anybody in for the Alpha Party. And it's too soon for them to have made any traction in the public consciousness. And the way they go about their business, actually, it's loud, and it's turning people off. Actually, somebody's just put in the comments that they attacking the Scottish government constantly and personalising some of the attacks. That doesn't sit well with the public. It doesn't. If the Alpha Party want to make a breakthrough, and they will in about 20 or 30 years, if they're lucky, 50 if they're no lucky, the best way to go about it is to be a wee bit politer about your political opponents. Right, that's it for the day, folks. I hope you found it entertaining and I hope you found it informative. Okay, now there is a campaign underway, as we are all well aware. So keep your eyes on the prize, learn your how-you-gonies, and get out and win hearts and minds. Okay, and the support of the Independent Media Support Broadcasting Scotland, Independence Live, Indie Live Radio, Caledon Media, Norrie does a great year on, and Two's Radio, iScot Magazine, and the national newspaper support independent bloggers and bloggers. And if they have a crowdfunder on the way, then please throw some money in the pot if you've got it. All right. but only if you've got it. And follow the last couple of bits of guidance. If you're in an enclosed public space, mask up, clean your hands at surfaces regularly, show a wee bit of social consciousness. If you're not feeling under the weather, mask up and social distance. And if you're still using the NHS lateral flow tests, those in health and social care will be, please submit your results so we can track how much is in the community. After all, you guys live in the community. Right, there's no show this Sunday. David's got a family function to attend. So, no be broadcasting this weekend unless something really daft comes up and I feel like a rant or something really mad comes up and I need to come on and express a view about it. But apart from that, have a lovely weekend, folks. Look after each other. Things are getting tough out there. Especially keep an eye on the older people in your community because they all still have that stiff upper lip and they won't ask for help. You'll need to see the distress in them so that you can offer help. Okay? You guys have a great weekend. I better get my shoes on and go pick up the dragon. Bye for now.